Live in Annapolis right now, guys. How's it looking? How's it feeling down there? I could hear you guys a little bit in my ear. Just sounds like so much excitement going on down there.
Yeah, with the new governor, we get a new anchor. Here he is, Randall Newsom. Man, the energy.
Oh my gosh, it's undescribable. I mean, when you look at the atmosphere here, people are packing this place behind us. We've been talking to people. You've been talking to a bunch of people.
Well, the thing about it is, Megan, is that the word spread. Guess who's here? Oprah is here.
Yeah,
she is
big
going
deal.
to be introducing the governor, and this crowd's going to go crazy.
Oh my gosh, and as you can see, I mean, they're packing in here to trying to catch that moment when Oprah introduces our new governor. That's going to be crazy.
So we're waiting for the swearing in inside the State House, and then they'll come out here, and we've got buoy bands out here.
Yeah.
We've got dignitaries. I've seen Governor Ehrlich here, Governor Paris Glendening. Hogan went down the line. Steny Hoyer's here. A lot of dignitaries.
Yeah, people of all ages. You can see the excitement just kind of building as we get to that moment where he is officially, the governor, and on that stage, ready to give an awesome speech.
And the weather. Let's make note of the weather. Usually it's snowing, 20 below.
I'm glad
raining.
that's not happening, Jamie. I'm glad.
All right,
yeah,
let's go.
The Texas guy. So with that, it is time for our swearing in. Big moment. Take a look.
On this amazing day, Lord, we gather with these amazing leaders and incredible members of every level of government and public service, and we want to pause and acknowledge you. Lord God, without you we are nothing, but we can do all things because of you. We know that you order our steps and direct our paths, and so today we stand in total praise for you and your great work and this incredible historic day that we are sharing together. We appreciate you, Lord. We thank you for all that you do. In your great name we pray. Amen.
Amen. There will soon be a knock at the door of the Maryland Senate, the heavy wooden doors, before the new lieutenant governor and her family are admitted. Lieutenant Governor Miller served in the General Assembly. She was a member of the House of Delegates representing Montgomery County. She was born in India, first immigrant to serve as Lieutenant Governor of Maryland, an engineer by training. She is married. Her husband, David Miller, becomes the state's second gentleman, and they have 3 daughters.
Raise your right hand. Put your left hand on the key dots. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Aruna Katragata Miller,
I, Aruna Katragata Miller,
do swear
that
I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and that I will be faithful
and that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland
and true bear allegiance to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws thereof,
and laws thereof,
and that I will,
to
the best of my skill and judgment, diligently and faithfully, without partiality or prejudice, execute the office of Lieutenant Governor of Maryland, according to the Constitution and laws of this state, and that I will not, directly or indirectly, receive the profits, or any part of the profits, of any other office, during the term, of my acting as Lieutenant Governor of Maryland. Congratulations, Lieutenant Governor.
What a proud moment there for our now Lieutenant Governor, Aruna Miller, surrounded by her husband and her 3 daughters. And this really is an historic moment for our state, as Aruna Miller is the first immigrant and Asian American woman to be elected into this position. It really was such an historical election for Maryland all around. We had our first female comptroller, Brooke Learman, voted into office, the first black man to be the Maryland Attorney General, Anthony Brown. And now we're watching history once again as she signs the oath, officially becoming the next Lieutenant Governor of Maryland. If her name sounds familiar, it's because Aruna Miller was a delegate with the House of Delegates here in Maryland from the years 2010 to 2018. She represented parts of Montgomery County. She also worked at the Department of Transportation in Montgomery County for some 25 years. So she has long dedicated her life to public service here, and now she will continue to do so in this new role under Governor-elect Wes Moore. And now, as she steps off the stage, now we're going to get ready to introduce our Governor-elect Wes Moore to come and take his oath of office. And again, making history as our first black governor here of Maryland, the 63rd governor. And I think we get the knock on the door.
It's a distinct honor and privilege to announce in the presence of these chambers the Governor-elect, Mr. Wesley Watende Omari Moore and his family.
Mr. Moore is joined on the podium by his wife, Dawn. Mr. Moore is new to the State House. Dawn is not. She was an aide to now Attorney General Anthony Brown when he served as Lieutenant Governor.
Okay, so place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Wesley Watende Omari Moore,
I, Wesley Watende Omari Moore,
do swear that I will support
the
Constitution of the United States
Constitution of the United States
and that I will be faithful
and
and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland
bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and
that I will,
to
the best of my skill and judgment, diligently and faithfully, without partiality or prejudice, execute the office of Governor of Maryland. According to the Constitution and laws of this state.
according to the Constitution and laws of this state,
and that I will not, directly or indirectly, receive the profits,
or
any part of the profits, of any other office, during the term of my acting, as Governor of Maryland. Congratulations, Governor.
Less than 10 minutes, we now have a new administration here in Maryland. Big hugs for Governor Wes Moore from his son, from his daughter. I could not help but watch his son as Governor Moore was taking his oath of office. He was looking up admiringly at his father. And then when it came to the part of the oath where Wes Moore said, Governor of Maryland, his son led the big cheer and the big clapping for his dad there when he got to utter those words. So just truly a remarkable moment inside the State House. And now he's going to sign his oath of office. And what's coming up next for this is they're going to go outside for the big ceremony. Lots of speakers going to be there. I think we have a 21-gun salute going on. So I think we want to go back out to Jamie Costello and Randall Newsom because they are out there outside the State House on Lawyers Mall where they have set up for this big ceremony. And I know the excitement must match what is going on inside the State House there, Jamie and Randall, because you could just feel it coming through your TV screen. Everyone is just so excited to be witnessing this history, and especially Wes Moore's children. I think that is just so incredibly special that they get to see that. And now we just get to bring all the fun outside to you guys.
Yeah, it is at capacity. They're not letting anybody else
Nobody
in.
else.
We're jammed.
Yeah, we are jammed, and as you can see, from our point of view, there's still a whole bunch of people who want to get in and be a part of this history that's about to happen.
And we did see history. You know, last night he went to bed as an ordinary citizen. He woke up this morning as the governor, the first black governor in the state of Maryland history.
Oh my gosh, and the excitement, I mean, it is swirling around Annapolis right now, but right here on this place right now and behind us, I mean, you can see so many people are just trying to cram in and be a part of this thing any chance they can get. People are trying to squeeze in around us.
Yeah,
Jamie.
you're right. Megan, I think this ought to be noted. There was a very quiet ceremony that was held right at the city dock, and this is where enslaved Africans arrived. Wes Moore went down there with his family. They went with Ben Jealous, former NAACP president, Anthony Brown, who was the first black attorney general, Michael Steele, who was the first black elected to statewide office, Boyd Rutherford was down there, Kwesi and Fume, the congressman, and Kathleen Kennedy Townsend. They went down to share the moment, of what it was like. And now a black man is in the State House.
That's crazy. And if you don't think that he's going to mention that that fact, it's at the top of the speech. So I checked it out, and I'm looking at him knowing that this moment is big and big for the black culture and big for Maryland.
Let me ask you this: if you're a betting man, and we can bet legally now, who gets a louder applause, Oprah or Wes Moore?
You put the pressure on me right there, Jamie. I don't know if I got money that they can bet on that, but I'm gonna say it's gonna be close.
Oh, it's gonna be close.
It's gonna be close. I mean, I've heard some of the roars when he was swearing in, and it's gonna be a tight one. It's gonna be hard to see.
All right, Megan, we'll send it back to you as we wait for Wes Moore, his family, and all the dignitaries to come out here, and Oprah to present Wes Moore as the governor of the state of Maryland.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be an exciting time indeed. Can't wait to see all the festivities there outside of the State House. If you're just joining us, we watched as our newest governor and lieutenant governor took their oath of office, so it is official. We are now under new leadership here in Maryland. In a few minutes, we're going to hear Governor Wes Moore and Lieutenant Governor Aruna Miller make their very first speeches to our state. So we're going to take a short break, but please stay with us. You're watching a special edition of WMAR-2 News.
You're watching WMAR-2 News.
All right, so we are back quicker than we anticipated, but welcome back to our special edition of WMAR-2 News as we watched Governor Wes Moore and his Lieutenant Governor Aruna Miller being sworn into office. The whole ceremony taking less than 10 minutes, but certainly was a lot of history packed in just those few minutes there inside of the State House. So now what we're doing is we're getting ready for all the festivities that are going to be taking place outside of the State House on Lawyers Mall. They've been working feverishly over the last few days to get all the chairs set up, make sure all the screens are in the right place so that we can get those festivities underway. And I believe we're going to go back out to WMAR-2 News' Jamie Costello and Randall Newsom. They are out there. But first, let's hear from Wes Moore when he was on The View a little bit earlier this week, talking to the women there on the show about what it means to win this election and thus take this oath of office.
The thing that I think is so powerful about this moment for all of us is while we all take a very deep sense of pride in the history that we made, that's not the assignment. Right? People did not vote for us to make history. I always look at Inauguration Day in a couple days. That day is not the victory. That day is the opportunity. And so
Moore added that he does recognize just how much of an impact that his election can have for people across our state.
It really does represent the power of the day. You know, one thing I always say to my kids, and I say it to all the kids in the state of Maryland, you are never in a room that you don't belong in.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? You are never in a room that you don't belong in. And that's the power. That's what today is supposed to symbolize.
Yeah, absolutely. Some powerful words there from now Governor Wes Moore. And, earlier this morning in Good Morning Maryland, Nordea Lewis was doing a story with community leaders in the Black community talking about what the significance of today means for them and what their hopes are that Governor Wes Moore is going to be able to do for their families to close the gaps, create more equality and more equity among Black families. And so really, there is a lot of hope that is being pinned to Governor Wes Moore's administration here and his next 4 years as governor of our state. Now we want to go back to Jamie and Randall, who are live outside the State House there at Lawyers Mall, getting ready for those festivities. Everyone getting all set up. Are we still feeling the excitement down there, boys?
Oh, yeah. We talked to the Ehrlichs, former Governor Bob Ehrlich and his wife Kendall, and they said they felt nostalgic walking on the bricks here, coming up here to salute Wes Moore. I mean, It's just everybody's excited.
Oh, man, everybody's excited. You see people from all walks of life coming to celebrate.
Did you just see?
I saw Chris Tucker, comedian, guy I've been looking up to my whole life. He just moseys on through here like it's nothing. And it goes to show how big the moment is, though, because people are looking for Wes, they're looking for Oprah, and Chris Tucker just sneaks through.
Well, I'll tell you who didn't sneak through. Jeff Morgan. Jeff is with us, and he'll be covering the people angle. Jeff, what are you seeing so far?
And Jamie and Randall, we have been speaking with members from both sides of the aisle. We've been speaking with Republicans, speaking with Democrats, leading up to the inauguration and really leading up to this session as well. Republicans are weary about this. There is a lot of change. We've been talking about that all morning long, about the amount of change that we're going to see from the new administration. And that is kind of unsettling for them. They're kind of waiting out the days here of the early session to see how Wes Moore will play out as governor, what his decisions will be. Democrats, they are excited. After 8 years of Larry Hogan, they feel like they can get a lot done under Wes Moore. They feel like their ideologies, at least during his campaigning, align with a lot of the ideologies and the things that they're trying to get done here at the State House. So they're excited for the next 4 years and possibly more. Jamie, Randall?
All right, here we are with. Can we just walk over?
We have to.
Let's go. Melanie Miller is here. Melanie.
How you doing, Jamie? Good seeing you.
Melanie is the daughter of the former state Senate President Mike Miller. Michael's watching.
Yes, he is. I tell you, the first picture I took at the dome of the State House, and that sun just beaming down. It hit us right there. But you know who else is? Louis Goldstein's watching.
Oh, yeah.
Senator Blount's watching. They're all watching, and they're seeing this history, and it's an important time of history. And how impressive of this crowd, these people, what we're going through. I mean, Wes is the right man for the right time. I tell you, I'm so excited.
Thanks. Nice seeing you, Melanie. Look, go ahead. Talk to
oh my gosh. Okay, so I've been talking to this lovely lady a whole bunch. First, give me your name, please.
Sure. Crystal Curry.
Crystal. And then for you, when you think about how big this moment is for the state of Maryland, just what comes to mind for you, this moment?
Just excitement and joy. I believe that Wes Moore will bring a lot of positive attributes to the position, and I think that it's an amazing opportunity to see a person of color in a position as well. So I'm excited.
Now, of course, you're excited. A lot of people here are excited, but you're still excited with that smile on your face from this point of view, and not be able to be on where everyone else is, and you're still having this smile on your face. Why are you still smiling?
I wanted to be here for this moment and have this opportunity to witness, history in Maryland. We're an amazing state, and just to see everyone come together and share in this moment just warms my heart as a Marylander.
I love it. Well, Crystal, you keep that smile on your face. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the time. Oh my gosh. So as you can see, folks, there's a crowd behind the crowd. JB, that just goes to show you, just how exciting this is for everybody here.
You know what? I know it was on another network, but doggone it, she is great. She was on The Voice, and she's a Severna Park high schooler, and she's going to be out here singing the national anthem. So we got all kinds of locals that are going to be doing it up here.
Yeah, you're going to be singing it all? You're not going to sing? Okay.
Oh, that'll be for Oprah today instead of the Orioles. Oh.
I love it, man. I love it. It for me, being new to the state of Maryland, obviously, like it really warms me to see how joyful everybody is.
Well, 30 years from now, you'll see the same old faces like we're seeing today. We
Yeah.
saw Steny Hoyer, who's very excited, congressman, and we've seen Tom McMillan, the former Terps basketball player,
Yeah.
former congressman. He's here. Paris Glendenning is here, and of course, Larry Hogan's here, and everybody just feels united for one moment.
It just seems like you should probably be here. Is what I'm getting from you.
Right, you should be here. Annapolis is all decked out, and the weather, of course, is
Oh my
just
gosh.
incredible. So.
People are telling me like, well, this would usually have snow and cold, and I was just like, it's because of me. I'm good luck.
Yeah,
I'm bringing that warmth with me.
That's exactly right. I'm looking back. We are now at least 15, 16 people deep back there.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we have overflow. We have seats over there.
Yeah.
They've got
Overflow filled up first.
Yeah.
Yeah, overflow filled up quickly.
They got the big screens set up here.
Yep.
And the stage out there. Earlier today, Megan, we saw Wes and his wife Dawn, who's a graduate of College Park. So
Okay.
she goes right to the top.
Oh yeah.
And they came out with state police and all the other police departments representing, and he just holding her hand, kids behind, just walking down those bricks into the State House.
Wow.
That's just an unbelievable moment.
Have you, in your time covering these, have you seen the atmosphere quite like this? What do you feel like comes close to this? Anything?
Well, there's always excitement. There is always excitement for the new man in town.
Yeah.
So now it's all about the Eagles song, the new kid in town.
New
Everybody's
kid.
watching you. Don't let us down.
Yeah.
So for Wes Moore, and you know what? When we interviewed him way back when he was running, and the first question I asked him about was Coach Jim Margrat.
Okay.
Jim was a legendary football coach at Johns Hopkins.
Okay.
He died suddenly, and Wes said that he was like a father figure to him on the football field. And the memories that he made, Donald Davis, who was one of his classmates. Donald, I'm giving you all ball of
All
this
the
stuff. I'm
all
sorry,
all
I'm
of it.
sorry,
I
'cause
love
you're
it.
listening
I
to
love
me.
it. Give it
But
all.
Donald Davis coached at Calvert Hall. He was a graduate of Hopkins, and they became great friends. And Donald was in his wedding. So that's the kind of Wes back then.
It keeps good company.
Bill de Blasio is the mayor, the former mayor of New York. He's here because Wes, what he did up in New York with his nonprofit.
Wow. I mean, a man who knows how to make an impact. And I'm hoping, and I know a lot of people are hoping that he's going to make a similar impact here in Maryland.
Yeah, you can give the campaign speeches, but today you got to start to govern.
There it is. The work is about to start. The work is about to start.
So we keep looking up on stage here. Can you just take a look?
Yeah, take a look at that
that a
nice
beautiful
crowd. That's a
setting,
beautiful
though?
crowd.
Huh?
Beautiful crowd. Beautiful crowd. A lot of people got here early to get that good seat.
And then there's going to be a party tonight. I understand after this, he's going to meet and greet as many as he can. But
Okay.
again, the time limit to get to Baltimore for the inaugural ball tonight.
Okay.
So that's going to be.
I imagine a whole bunch of people want to meet him. I'm imagining he can't meet them all.
No, he can't meet them all. But man, everybody, when he looks out here and he sees all these eyes and the faces
Yeah.
that he's come across growing up, where he went in the Bronx, when he came back to Baltimore, his Guilford neighborhoods here, the people he's running with. I mean, it is just an incredible thing.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, the list goes on. The people he's thanking, the people who helped him get to this point from when he was a kid. I mean, it's amazing. The list goes on.
When you look at this program, Megan, this program is about as diverse as you can get.
Oh, yeah, it is.
I mean, I don't think anybody is left out.
No.
And he said nobody would be left behind.
Yeah,
And the
he
program
did.
shows it today.
He did. It shows. It definitely shows. And it's nice. It's a nice little presentation right
Yeah, so we're going to hear from Bowie High School. The marching band is here. We're going to hear some music up on stage, and then the speeches will be made. And I got to give a big shout out to John O'Leary. John O'Leary is a big Annapolis guy. Puts on the Annapolis Day, the parade, the Hooley party, and all that stuff. He's the one that put this inauguration thing together.
I love it.
So he is very, very happy. I saw him with coffee earlier this morning. And
Yeah.
he was pretty pleased with the way it's going.
You know, and people are definitely being patient with everything coming here in a little while when he finally takes the stage. But in the meantime, the Bowie State Band is keeping people plenty busy. 'Cause I've been grooving. You know, I'm a former HBCU guy, so naturally that marching band is it's in me. You start rocking.
That's good. And there you see the seats, and they'll be out there. And I can see a few people coming out on the stage here. We should be getting this program underway here shortly.
Oh, man. Look at that crowd.
Yeah, every single seat. I just heard every single seat.
Yeah, they're trying to fill every
is
single
going to
seat.
be taken here.
Yeah, taken. Wait, does that mean we can't sit, Jamie?
No, we're not. Not
we'll be standing.
All. But you know what? Governor Hogan leaves the state, leaves the governor 77% approval rating.
Wow.
81% of the Democrats approved of the way he did it for 8 years.
It's a nice little record.
Oh my! I can't remember somebody leaving office. I don't care what office it is.
Right.
That high.
With that type of approval rating.
Yeah. Except Megan Knight. Megan Knight's approval rating is like 98.
I would assume that's 98, 99%. That sounds about right.
That's
yeah.
right. Way over the top.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all making me blush over
laughing?
here.
We're not laughing.
Serious business.
Oh, well, I love you guys.
So we're going to wait it out here and see what happens up on stage. Megan, back to you.
All right, it looks like they might be getting started there shortly. Some people filing into their seats there. So before we go, though, you know, we spoke with a lot of people in Baltimore about what they expect to see from Governor Moore. One man says that it's great that history is being made, but what Governor Moore does as a governor is really the bigger deal.
A lot of people that believe in Wes, his vision, and that vision to not leave anyone behind. But I also think that is a pivotal moment also for this country, because we found that if we leave people behind, there's always going to be a deficit. And so I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited about his vision. But I think we also need to be clear about his plans and his goals and his matrix and how we plan to actually execute his plans.
And another man hopes that Moore's first term is going to be controversy-free.
I think that this is his time to change the, I guess, trajectory of what's been going on in politics, not only across the country, but especially in the Baltimore City and the state of Maryland.
I know I speak on behalf of...
All right, so we are going to take another quick break here as they get settled in outside of the State House there at Lawyers Mall, getting ready for the speech portion of today's inauguration. So stay with us. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Intimate partner violence is something that crosses all racial and economic lines, affecting millions of adults and children. House of Ruth Maryland aims to end this domestic violence by offering programs for women, children, and the family, as well as the perpetrators. Our vision is that one day, every woman in Maryland will be safe in her own home. If you or someone you know is experiencing intimate partner violence, our confidential hotline is available at 410-889-7884.
When stuff goes wrong and you need answers,
know where to turn. Mallory Safaste is working for you.
have a story idea? Email me directly, Mallory@WMAR.com.
Because if it matters to you, it's a matter for Mallory. 1947 was a year of legacies. An unidentified object crash-landed in Roswell, New Mexico, giving birth to the modern movement of UFO sightings. The Polaroid camera was introduced to the world, offering the first ever instant camera. Jackie Robinson became the first African American to play for Major League Baseball in the modern era. And in Baltimore, Maryland, WMAR opened its doors as the state's first television station. WMAR-2 News is making it easier to watch us anytime you want by streaming 24/7 on any of your devices. That's Roku, Apple TV, Fire Stick, or Android TV. Just pick up the remote, download the WMAR-2 News app, and start watching. Catch up on news you missed from the day, top stories, weather, and a selection of topics. Or watch live during any of our regular broadcasts. Get the news you need on your time. Search WMAR on your device and start streaming local news 24/7. Maryland needs a voice that stands up and shares the history of our service members, a voice that speaks loudly for their rights, and a voice that celebrates all of their accomplishments. WMAR-2 News is that voice, a voice for veterans. You're watching WMAR-2 News.
And welcome back to our special edition of WMAR-2 News as we cover the inauguration ceremony of our new governor and lieutenant governor. Just about a half hour ago, Wes Moore officially taking the oath of office to serve as governor of Maryland for the next few years. And right by his side will be Lieutenant Governor Aruna Miller, both of them making history as they took those oath of office inside of the State House. And so now everything is moving outside of the State House to Lawyers Mall, where there's going to be a big ceremony, several guest speakers, including A pretty big celebrity that we've seen around Annapolis, Oprah Winfrey, is going to be at the ceremony today. In fact, she is going to be introducing Governor Wes Moore for his very first speech to the people of Maryland as head of our state. So it sounds like it's going to be really exciting. There are tons of people down there at Lawyers Mall just crammed in, waiting to watch this moment in history. And among all of those fine folks is our WMAR-2 News' Jamie Costello and Randall Newsom. They've been chatting with the crowd for the last couple of hours or so, just getting in all that excitement here as, like I said, people are getting to watch history. This is really incredible.
It is. Yes, it is. You know, when we go back to the primary, Wes Moore came out of nowhere, right? He's up against Peter Franchot, who declared about 8 years ago that he was going to run for governor. Peter was out in front, and then we had Richard Baker put his hand into it, and Tom Perez, who was a government official in the U.S. government, and he beat them all.
Wow. I mean, do you feel like there was a turning point in the race at any point?
When Oprah said, I'm going to go for Wes Moore, I endorse Wes Moore.
That sounds like a pretty good turning point.
That's crazy. And so when she comes up there, and of course he was on her network, OWN. Yeah. He had his own talk show there, and then she supported him the whole way through. So
helps to have a friend like that.
That's not a bad friend, huh?
Not a bad friend to have at all.
So his nonprofit, of course, a lot of people from his nonprofit are here, and they are just screaming from the mountaintops how much they adore this man.
They're not quiet. They're not quiet. They're not quiet at all, because we can hear him every couple minutes. We hear a roar from the crowd, and it's like, okay, just in case I was wondering, maybe it's not that big. No, it's a big deal.
I get into stuff like this. Aruna Miller, we should remember that she is also making history here today, and she will put her hand on what is called the Manual of Life. And that means to discover true love. So she will use that. And then Wes Moore will use Frederick Douglass's Bible. And that is on loan from the National Historic Site Museum collection. And another Bible that he'll put his hands on will be that belonged to his grandfather, Dr. James Thomas, who was the first black minister in the history of the Dutch Reformed Church.
Oh, so you mean to say history just kind of runs in the family? He's making history as a thing. It's kind of what it is.
From the fingers to the lips today, man.
That's right.
Every turn you look, there is history to be made.
Wow. And people still trying to be a part of this history. We have the best spot because we have people trying to really make their case to get in here somehow, some way. I'm on the list. We got all kind of things that people are saying to try to get that last little spot.
You want to get in here?
Right, yeah, we're security, Jamie. I'm glad I've been doing my push-ups.
That's great. And again, we can talk about the weather. We have been out here when I think it was when Larry Hogan his first inauguration. It was snowing. Wow. And his second inauguration was like 20 below. And Paris Glendenning, same thing. William Donald Schaefer, same thing. I mean, it's been the weather has been terrible.
You know what? I'm glad that's not the case today, Jamie, because I would have been like, you got a big dog. I'm not used to 20 below.
Yeah, no, nobody is. But again. Okay, Larry Hogan is up there. I spoke with the outgoing governor, and I said, what are you going to do? He's going, I'm going to Davidsonville, his new home, and then we're going to get on vacation. There you go.
Sounds like a plan.
That's not bad,
Sounds like a plan. You put some work in, time to enjoy the work that you put in. So vacation sounds like a good plan after that.
So he has moved out of the State House and moving into Davidsonville, and moving in from Guilford to the State House is Wes Moore and his family.
Love it.
Don and his kids. Man, man.
That's good
New
stuff.
digs. Not a bad digs, huh?
No, not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Hey, you keeping us safe out there? You sure? There you go. Michael Steele is up there. Michael Steele, of course, made history himself as the first a black man to serve in a statewide office when he was the attorney. He was the lieutenant governor under Bob Ehrlich.
Wow.
And there you see Oprah.
Wow.
There you go. There you go. Take it from there. There's Oprah.
There you go. Oprah Winfrey taking the stage for this introduction. This is going to be something that you all want to hear. Check it out.
And and also, where's Richard Scher? Is Richard right by her in the next chair? People are talking about this today.
Wow.
There's Aruna Miller, who is right now making her way to the podium.
Love it.
And there's the cheer. Now we're
there.
There it is.
There it is.
There you go. As people are now looking up on the monitors because it's about a mile away from the stage.
Here we go.
So Aruna Miller will be the first to go in. and then Westmore will take his inauguration, and here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. Big moment, and it's happening as we speak.
And again, there'll be a little reception here. He'll shake hands with as many as he can, and then after that, he's heading to Baltimore.
How many? What's your over/under on how many hands he gets to shake before he's got to get out of here?
Let's see.
Do the numbers. Crunch them.
Over 59 in a minute.
I'm gonna go.
Hi.
I'm gonna go 80.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go 80.
Somebody will be in line stopping them and saying,
Oh yeah.
Oh my, they'll be crying.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
They'll be crying.
It's gonna be because it's an emotional moment. It's big.
Moment.
It's so big. It's so big. And you never know who's been watching him that he doesn't even know. He's impacting people that he doesn't even know he's impacting.
You're right.
And in that moment, I wonder what's going to be going through his mind.
I'll tell you who he's impacting is right here. Look at all the little kids up front here.
Yeah.
Look at this. That's who he's impacting.
Oh, look at them. They're all waving. Some of them waving at us. Hey, guys.
There you go.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Hey, from the Calvert School. There you go.
Love
Calvert
it.
School in Baltimore. I saw St. Mary's is over there.
Love it.
Here's Westmore.
Anne Arundel County Executive Stuart Pittman will be the MC for the outdoor ceremonies. Wow, what a beautiful day it is today. If we hadn't referenced this, Charles, in the past.
All right, so right now we have Governor Wes Moore along with the First Lady of Maryland, Dawn Miller, coming in with his wife, and we're about to hear Wes Moore make his very first address to the state of Maryland as governor of our state. He took his oath of office just about 40 minutes ago. So now he and his wife are getting seated. He's got his son, he's got his daughter there. Just such a huge moment for them to watch their father become the first black governor of our state. And just such a proud day for the whole family, for the state, and just truly remarkable again to be watching history unfold here. Soon he'll be joined by his Lieutenant Governor, Aruna Miller, and they will be making their speeches. We, as you heard Jamie and Randall talking, we have Oprah Winfrey in town. For those of you who might not know, Oprah got her start here in Baltimore many years ago, and obviously since then has gone on to do great things. She was a huge supporter of Wes Moore during his campaign for governor. Now she is here in Annapolis. We saw her just a few moments ago there up on the stage, and she'll be introducing him as governor.
The inauguration of the 10th Lieutenant Governor, the 63rd Governor of the great state of Maryland. If you happen to have a seat, please be seated. My name is Stuart Pittman. I am the 10th and current county executive of the best place for all, the crossroads of Maryland, and the seat of state government in Arundel County. I have been asked to facilitate this historic occasion, to introduce our speakers, encourage them to be brief, and model that behavior myself. A master of ceremonies has a task to complete and must hide his or her emotions. I apologize in advance for my failure to do that. This is a joyous day. I have a handkerchief, and I intend to use it. You see, I have deep roots in this county and this state. And today has been a very long time coming. I am a direct descendant of a man named Dr. George Hume Stewart, who arrived here from Scotland in 1721, purchased land, and made his fortune in the tobacco industry on the backs of enslaved men, women, and children from Africa. Dr. Stewart was also a politician, serving as mayor of Annapolis and as a delegate to the colony's General Assembly. He lived in a house on land that later became the site of Government House, the governor's residence. He lived right there. "300 years later, on September 8th, 2021, when I stood a few steps from that house behind a podium alongside a magnificent new friend named Wes Moore, in the presence of his wife Dawn, his mother Joy, his grandmother Mama Wynn, his sisters Shawnee and Nikki, and my daughter Jessie. The magic of what this day could mean, the healing that this election could offer, was presented as if by a higher power, like a portal to a brighter future. But I did not join Team Moore on that day simply to send a message to my ancestors, as sweet as that message may be. I joined for the same reason most of Maryland joined. I, like you, was looking for a leader who would listen, and a human being to remind us what it means to be human. It's just that simple. We found one, and that is why we're here today. Watching Wes build the team that catapulted him from the single-digit support he had when I endorsed him to the most votes of any governor in the history of our state. Was a window into what will begin tomorrow morning when the crowds disperse and the work begins. Maryland will learn that we really can get both heart and mind in one body. That we can grow our economy and leave no one behind. That work, wages, and wealth are still the path to progress. And that government is not the source of our problems. It's the tool that works when we sharpen it. Sharpen it with the world-class talent that will serve in this administration. We are such a lucky state today. But we aren't here just to inaugurate Wes Moore. We have a dynamic duo coming to town. We are welcoming back to Annapolis, back to state government service, former delegate and soon-to-be Lieutenant Governor Aruna Miller. A woman who brought an infectious joy and energy and confidence to the campaign, and whose experience and wisdom will carry this administration through whatever challenges our times present. Finally, I think it is fitting fitting, it's filling too, isn't it? That after so many months of Wes and Aruna listening to us, that we show them that we have also heard their words, particularly the 4 words that appeared on thousands of yard signs all across our state. You know the ones I'm talking about. I will count to 3, and then we will shout those words together 3 times. We want them to be heard at the very top of the Capitol dome so that they hover there forever and remind all who enter the commitment we have made to the people of Maryland. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Leave no one behind. Leave no one behind. Leave no one behind. Well done, y'all. Okay, let's get this ceremony started. First, a warning and an invitation. The warning is that immediately after the governor is sworn in, you will hear a 19-gun salute and a flyover. It's okay. These are traditional demonstrations of honor and respect. The invitation is to greet the governor and lieutenant governor immediately after the ceremony here in the State House Rotunda. They will spend the first part of their afternoon greeting as many of you as possible. Did you know that? Good. Now, if you're seated and are able, please stand as the Joint Color Guard comprised of the Maryland State Police, Maryland Transportation Authority Police, Maryland Transit Administration Police, Maryland Natural Resources Police, and the Maryland Capitol Police presents the colors. Please remain standing for Severna Park High School's The Voice Top 8 superstar, Parajita Bastola. Singing our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner, and after that, the invocation will be delivered by Bishop Dante Hickman Sr., pastor of the Southern Baptist Church in Baltimore, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by James Moore, son of Governor Moore and Mrs. Moore. Please remain standing after the pledge for the departure of colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er
Shall we bow and shall we pray? O Lord our God, how excellent is your name in all the earth. How we thank you for life, health, and strength, and for things being as well as they are. And we thank you for giving us this beautiful day to witness this historical and transformational occasion, to inaugurate, consecrate, and celebrate Wes Moore and Aruna Miller as the new governor and lieutenant governor of the state of Maryland. We're so grateful for how you've blessed our state. You blessed us with more good than bad, more unity than division, more opportunity than obstruction, and now you've blessed us with more. Wes Moore. Thank you for the content of his character. Thank you for the clarity of his mind and the quality of his spirit. And we thank you for blessing us with Aruna Miller. Thank you for her authenticity, her consistency, and her vibrancy and vitality of heart, mind, and spirit. And now we ask that you would undergird them as they lead, lift, legislate, and leave no one behind. Dispatch your angels to cover the governor and the first lady, Dawn Moore, their children and their family. Cover the lieutenant governor and her husband, David Miller, their children and their family. Protect them from all hurt, harm, and danger. Direct them in your wisdom and in your love. Correct them by your grace and your mercy. May their years in service be filled with more blessing than stressing and more success than mess. And now, Lord, so many Marylanders have been inspired by the ideas and the ideals of Wes Moore. We admire his courage, his charisma, and his collaborative spirit. And so we thank you for giving him the victory of the vote. But now we ask that you would give him the victory of his vision. Give him the victory to improve educational, environmental, economical, and ecological systems of our state so that no one is left behind. You paved the way through liberationists like Harriet Tubman. You paved the way through astronomers like Benjamin Banneker. You paved the way through abolitionists like Frederick Douglass, through jurists like Thurgood Marshall, through activists like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Now guard and guide Wes Moore and Aruna Miller as they strive to make Maryland the leading state for opportunity, equity, diversity, dignity, safety, and prosperity for all. We give you praise in advance for all the successes of this administration. We give you praise in advance in the face of our spiritual adversary whose adversity couldn't stop this opportunity. We give you praise on these steps of the state capitol that undocumented enslaved hands built so that we could lift as we climb. We praise you because we know that the steps of a good man and a good woman are ordered by the Lord. We praise you because we know no weapon formed against us shall be able to prosper. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and forever. We pray this prayer to you collectively from our respective faith traditions and convictions. And I pray this prayer in the name of the one who saved my soul, in the name of the one who made me whole, Jesus Christ. Amen. Hallelujah. Glory to God.
Please continue standing and put your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wow. Please be seated. I was going to say let's give a round of applause to our great talent, Parajita Bastola, for that amazing anthem, and I will say that. But how about a round of applause for James Moore, leading us in the national anthem. And thank you, Bishop Dante, for bringing faith to this moment. And we extend a special thank you to our Maryland's Joint Law Enforcement Color Guard. Now, to administer the oath of office to the 10th Lieutenant Governor of Maryland, Aruna Miller, I am honored to introduce the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Maryland, the Honorable Matthew J. Fader. At the conclusion of the swearing-in, America the Beautiful will be sung by the most highly acclaimed musical organization of the United States Naval Academy, one of America's premier choral ensembles, the United States Naval Academy Women's and Men's Glee Club, under the direction of Dr. Aaron Smith.
Place your left hand on the Gita and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Aruna Katragada Miller,
I, Aruna Katragada Miller,
do swear
that
I will support the Constitution
of
the United States
and
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
to
the state of Maryland and support the Constitution and laws thereof, and that I will, to the best of my skill and judgment, diligently and faithfully, without partiality or prejudice, execute the office of Lieutenant Governor of Maryland, according to the Constitution and laws of this state, and that I will not, directly or indirectly, receive the profits, or any part of the profits, of any other office, during the term, of my acting, as Lieutenant Governor of Maryland. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Beautiful
Thank you to the United States Naval Academy Glee Club. Please be seated. At this time, please welcome Mina, Chloe, and Sasha Miller, who will introduce their mother, Lieutenant Governor Aruna Miller.
Good afternoon, family, friends, and Marylanders. My name is Mina.
I'm Chloe.
And my name is Sasha, and we are deeply honored to introduce the next Lieutenant Governor of Maryland, our mom, Aruna Miller. My mom raised us with a simple philosophy. When the universe presents you with an opportunity, say yes. But let me tell you, as an 8-year-old kid, it was not so easy to say yes to knocking on strangers' doors on a rainy Saturday to ask them who they were voting for, or standing outside metro stations at 7 a.m. trying to hand out information to half-asleep commuters. Although I did a lot of complaining over the years, sorry, Mommy, I'm grateful for the moments where you challenged me to say yes. Your encouragement has made us believe anything is possible.
But my mom doesn't only welcome opportunities, she welcomes challenges. For instance, the Lieutenant Governor used to be terrified of public speaking. For those who have seen her speak, I know, it's hard to believe. But instead of shying away from it, she faced her fears head on and took a stand-up comedy class. I won't subject you to the jokes that were part of her routine. I don't know if they're ready for prime time yet. But watching her on stage helped me realize that it didn't matter. My mom's a force to be reckoned with. She's a woman who understands that growth springs from discomfort. Years later, I watched my mom, a woman of color and an immigrant, run for elected office on a ticket with Governor Moore. Together, forging a path for so many underrepresented people to see themselves in our government. I am so proud to be her daughter, and I know she will continue to advocate for the inclusion of all Marylanders during her time as Lieutenant Governor.
My mom has always been my hero. I said I wasn't gonna cry. It is her commitment to public service that led me to become a public school teacher. Watching her watching her lead with compassion grounds me in what is most important. I move through the world the way that I do because of her. She leads with values. She will say yes when it matters most, and that is how she will serve the people. Today feels like a dream, and it was only possible because of all of you that chose to say yes. So thank you, Maryland, for saying yes to Wes Moore. Thank you for saying yes to my mom, Aruna Miller. Thank you for saying yes to a better future for our state. It is my honor to share my hero with Maryland. Please join us in welcoming Maryland's Lieutenant Governor, my mom, Aruna Miller, to the stage. Oh my goodness. Girls, Mommy loves you so much. Yes, they still call me Mommy, as you heard. I am so proud of the strong, smart, beautiful souls that you have become. 12 years ago, I was sworn in to the same state house as a delegate from District 15, where I served for 8 years. They say you can never go home again. And I say my presence here today is proof. Yes, you can. Because when you want to serve the people, you can always go home. Good afternoon, Maryland. What an amazing day in our great state. What about this weather, huh? Is it beautiful or wet? So I just want to remind you, yesterday it was raining. Today it's 60 degrees and sunny. Tomorrow it's supposed to rain again. So, Marylanders, you should know destiny is on our side. To my friend and Maryland's 63rd Governor, Wes Moore, I am humbled to join you on this journey to serve the state we love for the people we love in a place we call home. To the First Lady, Dawn Moore, and the First Family, we look forward to the joy you will bring to the government house, along with the new puppy you were promised. Right, Jamie? And Mia, that new puppy. To all our federal, state, local, municipal elected leaders, justices, National Guard, family, friends, mentors, and Marylanders, welcome. I am Aruna Miller, and I thank you for your trust and confidence in me to be your 10th Lieutenant Governor of Maryland. I arrived to the United States when I was 7 years old. And I will never forget my first day of school. I remember walking in, it was in Poughkeepsie, New York, walked into the classroom, looked at all my classmates, none of them looked like me, and I couldn't speak a word of English. But I wanted to fit in. So where is the best gathering place other than the cafeteria? So when we went to the cafeteria, I had a plan. I was going to do exactly what everyone else was doing. So I ate American food for the first time. I drank cold milk for the first time in my life. I was feeling pretty good. I thought, okay, I think I won over all these classmates of mine. They're my friends now. Walked back to the classroom and proceeded to vomit all over the desk. I was mortified. My teacher called my mom. My mom came to pick me up. And on the drive home, I told her, I want to go back to Grandma who raised me in India. I hate cold milk too, Mom, by the way. By the time we got home, we heard a knock on the door. And I opened the door, and outside, standing in the snow, was one of my classmates with a stack full of paintings in her hand. Paintings that had hearts, smiley faces, little faces with tears coming down. And it was in that moment I knew I belonged in this great country. It took an educator to teach what I believe is one of the most important qualities of a human being, and that is to have empathy and compassion for others. It wasn't just the first day of school where I felt I didn't belong. In fact, I would say I spent most of my life trying to fit into a space that didn't have me in mind. As an immigrant growing up in a new country, or as a female engineer in a male-dominated field, as an Indian American legislator in a legislature that looked nothing like me. It took me a long time to realize that it was never about needing to fit into a space created by others. It was always about having the courage to be my authentic self in every space. But throughout our history, too many of our communities have been denied opportunities to live fully, freely, and to be their authentic selves. Too many people have been left behind. From our Black and brown communities seeking to feel safe in their own skin, from women who are fighting for their autonomy over their own bodies, people wanting to love who they love and be who they are in their lived identity, families and children struggling to survive without adequate access to food, housing, education, transportation, and health care. Governor Moore and I see you. We hear you. We will fight for you. We will address the inequities of the past and build a Maryland where everyone will thrive. Because you see, our fortunes are tied together in ensuring that we create a state that we grow equitably,
It will take all of us together to achieve this vision. Together with you, we will write the next chapter of Maryland's history, a chapter that will be filled with real-time heroes like you who advocates every day for policies that right the wrongs, you who never gives up on the underdogs to be champions and achievers, you who believes that each of us has the power within us to make tomorrow better than today. My story would not be possible without recognizing the heroes in my life. They inspire me to be better and to try harder. So thank you to my husband, David Miller. You've made my life a fairy tale. To my mom and dad who took a leap of faith to come to this country because they believed in the promise of America. To my siblings, you were the best part of my childhood, and I thank you and I love you for always being there. And of course, also to my daughters that I recognize, I am so proud, and they become my favorite type of people, taxpayers. To my family, friends, and mentors, thank you for never, ever giving up on me. To Marylanders, thank you for trusting me to help lead our state into the future. And to Governor Moore, from the moment we met, I knew you were going to be the next governor of Maryland. And apparently, so did 1,293,944 other Marylanders. And saying yes to you when you asked me to be your running mate was life-changing. Yes is a tiny but powerful word. When we say yes, we do more, we love more, we create more. Saying yes is to trust the universe has bigger plans for us, one that we can only understand with hindsight. And now, here we are, Governor. It was an honor to run by your side, and it will be the greatest honor of my life to serve by your side. For every single person across the state, from Mountain, Maryland to the Eastern Shore, from Baltimore City to Southern Maryland, and every space in between, you belong here. This is your home. This is our home. Yes, this is our Maryland.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor Miller. We are so ready for your inspired leadership. Now, it is my pleasure to present to you one of the nation's most prestigious university choral ensembles, the Morgan State University Choir, under the direction of Dr. Eric Conway, performing God Bless America.
Across the sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair. As we lift our voices in this solemn prayer, God bless America, the land
Thank you, Dr. Conway and the amazing Morgan State University Choir for that performance. To administer the oath of office to the 63rd Governor of the State of Maryland, Wes Moore, I once again welcome to the podium the Honorable Matthew J. Fader. The swearing in will be followed immediately by honors and the 19-gun salute by soldiers from the Maryland Army National Guard. Following the salute, please look skyward to see our Maryland Air National Guard 175th Wing's finest coming to us from Warfield Air National Guard Base in Middle River, Maryland.
Do you want to come around here because you're going to hold the other Bible underneath? Is that right?
Yes, that's right. Okay, sorry.
There we go.
I think it. Oh, no. Put it on this one.
Let's place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I, Wesley Watende Omari Moore.
I, Wesley Watende Omari Moore,
Do swear
that
I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and that I will be faithful
and that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws thereof,
and laws thereof,
and that I will,
to
the best of my skill and judgment, diligently and faithfully, without partiality or prejudice, execute the office of Governor of Maryland, according to the Constitution and laws of this state, and that I will not, directly or indirectly, receive the profits, or any part of the profits, of any other office, during the term, of my acting, as Governor of Maryland. Congratulations, Governor Moore.
We've got a lot of hugging going on up here. Congratulations, Governor.
Thank you, County Executive.
Okay. Governor brought a friend. I would like to introduce, or two. I would like to introduce Lieutenant Colonel Jaime Martinez, a retired United States soldier and great friend of the governor.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jaime Martinez. I'm a retired United States Army soldier, and I am humbled to participate in such a historic day. Honored to say a few words about my friend, Governor Moore. Wes and I met in Afghanistan in 2005 during Operation Enduring Freedom on a hot, dusty airstrip and coast along the Pakistan border, when he reported to our unit, the 82nd Airborne Division, where we were tasked with securing Afghanistan for its first ever legislative elections, while building the local economy and extending the rule of law. The pace of combat operations during that tour involved constant contact with a relentless enemy. That deployment was challenging in ways few can understand, with losses and sacrifices of many great Americans in harsh and austere conditions, all while continuing the mission. You know, Wes did not need to go to Afghanistan in 2005 to 2006. We all know that he had attended a military academy. He had also graduated from Johns Hopkins, where he had proved to be a standout student, and then attended Oxford as a Rhodes Scholar. He was the kind of guy with unlimited potential, and he could have chosen to do anything with his life and succeeded. But Wes also had taken an oath of service, and he saw it as his duty to raise his hand. "Send me," he said, "I will go." And from day one, he was all in. Often, I would walk into the Tactical Operations Center in the middle of the night, and Wes would be there, evaluating reports and providing critical analysis while assisting with battle plans. In effect, to lead our information operations in an area 4 times the size of Maryland. Or he would be out on patrol, engaging the local populace and assessing the effectiveness of our campaign, while targeting the constant threat and reporting back to command. There was no rest. Wes never shrank from his duty, and his commitment never wavered. He was a soldier, he was a leader, and he was the very best of us, and well respected above his rank. His ideas were critical to our success, and in the fluid battle space of Afghanistan, our higher headquarters took notice and replicated that operational art. Our time in Afghanistan and in the service was guided by the Army's values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. Now, I could tell you how Wes embodies all of them, but today I'm going to focus on selfless service. You see, selfless service is about putting the welfare of the nation before your own. Selfless service is larger than just one person, where you perform your duty without thought of recognition or personal gain. Because in the Army, and just as the government and in our local communities, it is never one person that does it all. At the end of the day, it is about your personal commitment to the team. It takes all of us doing everything that they can. And that's how Wes Moore leads. Now, I've known Wes for a very long time, and I've seen him on difficult days. Days when every decision was hard and success was far from guaranteed. And he has risen to the toughest of challenges and as he volunteered to help again and again. I will go is selfless service. I will help is selfless service. I will run is selfless service. And he did. He decided to run for governor of this great state. He said he wanted Maryland to be a state of service. And that philosophy starts at the top. Wes Moore's administration will not be defined by only his leadership or the lieutenant governors. It will be defined by the whole state's worth of leaders. Teachers and first responders, elected officials, union leaders, law enforcement officers, parents. Wes has called on every Marylander to serve and to support one another, to leave no one behind, to leave no one behind. He has made this call because he has lived these values himself. In Afghanistan, I saw a leader emerge from the most difficult challenges. And I see that same leader here today. From Afghanistan to Annapolis, Wes Moore has always put serving others before himself to set the example. He has always delivered, and starting today, he is going to deliver as governor. I could not be more prouder. Thank you. God bless. Airborne. Do great things, my friend.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Lieutenant Colonel, sorry. Lieutenant Colonel Martinez. All right. It is now my great honor to invite forward the beloved American who introduced Wes Moore to America 10 years ago so that she can introduce Wes Moore to us as our 63rd Maryland governor. Welcome, Ms. Oprah Winfrey.
Whoa. Hello, Maryland! I can tell you it is such a joy to be here on this day, and what a joy to be back here in Maryland. I'm back! I have to say, I was just 22 years old when I first came to Maryland. I was starting a new job as a co-anchor of the 6 o'clock news on WJZ-TV. And I left my home in Nashville, and I drove myself here in an Oldsmobile Cutlass to Baltimore. I moved into the 3rd floor at 10109 Windstream Drive, Columbia, Maryland, which at the time was considered this new model city. I was so excited, living away from home for the first time, from my family for the very first time. And as I walked around the city of Baltimore that first week, I saw the strangest thing. Their promo campaign was my face on billboards and my face on the backs of buses. My face advertising the 6 o'clock news with Jerry Turner. Remember Jerry Turner? And a question on the billboards and the buses said, "What is an Oprah?" Honestly, I didn't really know the answer to that myself. When I moved to Maryland, I had no idea really who I was or what an Oprah was. But I will tell you something, Maryland is where I figured it out. The 8 years that I lived here were some of the most significant years of my life. I grew up here. From a young, naive girl, I truly had corn growing behind my ears. I was truly green behind the ears, and grew into a woman becoming more and more of myself from every challenge and every experience. I found community here at Bethel AME Church every Sunday. I found the freedom to perform and feed my creative spirit. I found my professional calling sitting alongside Richard Scher for the show People Are Talking. And though it wasn't the job that I moved here to do, it was the job that sparked my desire to use television to tell stories that would impact people's lives. And I found some of the closest friends of my life here, Maria Shriver, and my BFF, Gail King. But most important, in Maryland, I found myself. This state is something special. It's a place where so many others have done and will do exactly what I did. Plant the seeds of their wildest dreams and watch those seeds grow into reality. Maryland is full to the brim with opportunity. It was back then, it is now. And I know that with Wes Moore as your governor, Maryland's best days lie ahead. So let me tell you a little bit about the Wes Moore that I know, the Wes that I'm proud to be standing here with today. Well, I met Wes for the first time in 2010 when I interviewed him about his best-selling book. Y'all read the book, right? Everybody's gonna want to read the book now. I was so impressed even then by his integrity and his wisdom. He was wise beyond his years. He knew who he was, and he had a vision for who he intended to be and how he wanted to serve. Though I have to say, I was delightfully surprised when he called me last year, on January 6th, as a matter of fact, to tell me that he wanted to serve as governor. And I said, you want to run for governor in this political climate where everybody is so polarized, where there's such vitriol? Look at what's happening right now as we speak, because as he was telling me, I could see the CNN screen behind him, and that's the first I knew of the invasion of the Capitol. So then I turned it on. I go, look at what's happening. You want to run in this climate? And he said, exactly. Exactly. So I said, go for it, and I'll be here if you need me. I always walk away from a conversation with Wes Moore with a new perspective, with new ideas, with a new way of seeing things, a new burst of positive energy. That's what you do for people. And about 5 years ago, Wes and our now First Lady of Maryland, Dawn Moore, had come to my house for dinner. And we had a conversation that stayed with me. I still think about that conversation. We were talking about, as we often do at the table, how to live with purpose and meaning, and how to continue that into your later years, and how to know that you are spending your precious days in a way that you'll be able to look back with pride and have absolutely never any regret. And I remember, Wes, you said to me, because I had just recently ended the show, and you said, your job title, talk show host, will change. Your titles change throughout your life, you said, but your occupation will also change. But your work, you said, will always be consistent. Wes has had quite a few titles in his life. Author, Army captain, CEO, and now governor. The man has worn many hats, but the work he's done The work he has always done, that has never changed. It has not changed, not even a little. He has always been committed to helping young people find purpose and direction in their lives. That's why he started a small business in Baltimore that gave a helping hand to college students who needed one. He's always believed that everyone deserves an equal shot at success, an opportunity to live well, to have lives that are meaningful and provide for their families in the way that he's able to provide for James and Mia. That's why he joined the Robin Hood Foundation, one of the largest anti-poverty organizations in America, and distributed more than $600 million to families in need. He has always loved our country and believed that our country is worth fighting for. That's why he served as a captain and a paratrooper in the 82nd Airborne Division. So you see, this might be his first day as an elected official, but Wes Moore has been a public servant his entire adult life. And there's so much more to come. He's just getting started. I once asked Wes what service meant to him, and he told me, it's the thing that makes your heart beat a little bit faster. Well, something tells me that is you prepared to tell us about your vision for a stronger, safer, and more equitable Maryland, a Maryland that leaves no one behind. As you prepare to serve the state that has meant so much to you, I do believe that your heart must be pumping, 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 pumping some wild, ecstatic excitement and love for Maryland and all who abide here. It is my honor to introduce you as my friend, to introduce you as someone who I believe in, as a man I truly respect, and a man I so trust. I trust you. I trust your vision. I trust your leadership. And I want you to know you can trust it too. In your new governor, Wes Moore.
Wow, wow, wow. Hello, Maryland! God bless you all. God bless you all. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for the honor that you have bestowed upon me and Aruna Miller as your next Lieutenant Governor. President Ferguson, Speaker Adrian Jones, members of the Maryland General Assembly, thank you all. It is an honor to be your partner. And to all of our state workers and all who organized this inauguration, thank you. It is an honor to be your new colleague. To Governor Hogan, we are grateful and thankful for the kindness that you and your team have shown throughout this entire transition period. Thank you for 8 years of great service to a state that we both love. To my dear friend Oprah Winfrey, a Maryland girl at heart, thank you for your incredibly kind and gracious introduction. It is an honor to be with you today and always, and thank you for always being in my corner. To your new First Lady, my amazing wife, Dawn, and to to the new first babies, me and James, you are my heart, you are my soul, you're my everything, and I love you. As we stand here today, looking out over Lawyers Mall, and you can see right there the memorial to Justice Thurgood Marshall. It's impossible not to think about our past and our path. We're blocks away from the Annapolis docks, where so many enslaved people arrived in this country against their will, and we are standing in front of a Capitol that was built by their hands. We have made uneven and unimaginable progress since then, and it is a history that has been created by generations of people whose own history was lost, stolen, or never recorded. But one thing we know is that right now we are standing here in our history, in our shared history, in our collective history, made by people who over the past 2 centuries, regardless of their origin story to this state, fought and built a state and a country that works for everybody. And there are 2 people who are here today who embody that spirit, who are sitting right here next to me, 2 extraordinary women named Hema and Joy. Hema came to this country from India. Joy from Jamaica. Yeah, man. They immigrated to America with hope in their hearts, not just for themselves, but for future generations. And now, today, they are sitting here together at the inauguration of their children to become the governor and lieutenant governor of a state that helped to welcome them. Please stand up. Please stand up so everybody can see you both. To Aruna's mom, Hema, and to my mom, Joy, you epitomize everything special about this state. And you are proof that in the state of Maryland, anything is possible. Now, yes, Aruna and my portraits are going to look a little bit different from the ones that we've always seen in the Capitol. But that's not the point. This journey has never been about making history. It's about marching forward. Today is not an indictment of the past. Today is a celebration of our collective future. And today, our opportunity to begin this future is so bright it is blinding, but only if we are intentional, inclusive, and disciplined in confronting challenges, making hard choices, and seizing this opportunity in front of us. Our state is truly remarkable. From my birthplace of Montgomery County to my adoptive home of Baltimore City, from the sandy beaches of the Eastern Shore to the rolling hills of West. Yeah, go ahead, Eastern Shore. Go ahead and make yourselves known. To the rolling hills of Western Maryland and everywhere in between. Maryland is home to spectacular natural beauty and dynamic industries and people as talented as they are determined. But the truth is, Maryland is asset rich and strategy poor. And for too long, we have left too many people behind. We know it is unacceptable that while Maryland has the highest median income in the country, 1 in 8 of our children live in poverty. We know it is unacceptable that in the home of some of the best medical institutions on the planet, that more than 250,000 Marylanders lack health coverage. We've been asked to accept that some of us must be left behind, and that in order for some to win, it means others must lose. And not only that, we've come to expect that the people who have lost will keep losing. We must refuse to accept that. Instead, I'm asking you to believe that Maryland can be different. I'm asking you to believe that Maryland can be bold, and I'm asking you to believe that in this moment, Maryland can lead. I'm asking you to understand that it is time for our policies to be as bold as our aspirations, and to confront the fact that we have been offered false choices. We do not have to choose between a competitive economy and an equitable one. Maryland should not be 43rd in unemployment or 44th in the cost of doing business. We should not tolerate an 8-to-1 racial wealth gap, not because it only hurts certain groups, but because it prevents all of us from reaching our full potential. We can attract and retain top industries like aerospace, like clean energy, like cybersecurity, and raise the minimum wage to $15 to help folks feed their families. Maryland can reward entrepreneurs who take bold risks and provide stability for families in need. Maryland can be the best place in America for employers and employees. It shouldn't be a choice, it isn't a choice, and the path forward requires us to do both of these things together. And there's another false choice we often hear, that people must choose between feeling safe in their own community and feeling safe in their own skin. Over the last 8 years, we have seen the rate of violent crime rise, and many Marylanders have grown weary in their faith that governments can actually keep them safe. We can build a police force that moves with appropriate intensity and absolute integrity and full accountability, and embrace the fact that we cannot and will not militarize ourselves to safety. We can and we will support our first responders who risk everything to protect us, and change the inexcusable fact that Maryland incarcerates more black boys than any other state in this country. We will work with communities from West Baltimore to Westminster to share data so we can keep violent offenders off of our streets, and we can welcome people who have earned a second chance back to our communities. I know what it feels like to have handcuffs on my wrists. Me too. We're not alone. I felt that when I was 11 years old. I also know what it's like to stand with families and mourn the victims of violent crime. We do not have to choose between being a safe state and a just one. Maryland can and we will be both. We're often told that climate change is a problem for the future, or something that you only have to worry about if you live in farmlands or in a flood zone. But climate change is an existential threat, and it is happening now in our communities. And so confronting climate change represents another chance for Maryland to lead. We can and we will be a leader in wind technology, in grid electrification, and in clean transit. We will protect our jewel, the Chesapeake Bay, and address toxic air pollution that chokes our cities, and we will put Maryland on track to generate 100% clean energy by 2035 and create thousands of jobs in the process. Clean energy will not just be a part of our economy, clean energy will define our economy in Maryland. But that requires everybody. Companies, communities, state and local governments, and the people to take bold and decisive action together. And importantly, we do not have to choose between giving our children an excellent education and an equitable one. We will ensure that every single one of our students and every single one of our children knows that this state loves and needs them, and we will create policies that can help them thrive. We will invest in our special education students, our English language learners, our LGBTQIA students, students experiencing homelessness, and every single child who needs a little extra help. And we will see to it that mental and behavioral health challenges do not prevent our children from getting the education that they deserve as well. And while Maryland is home to some of the best and some of the greatest institutions of higher education in this country, something we should be very, very proud of, we must end this myth that young people must attend one of them in order to be successful. That's not the path for every student. To be clear, it wasn't my path. I joined the military when I was 17 years old. I went to a 2-year college, and I think things worked out pretty well. Every student in Maryland will know that there are paths to their success and their fulfillment. And those paths begin with high quality and highly inclusive schools from pre-K to 12th grade. Now, my own journey started in military school, where I learned one of my core values: service. I went on to lead soldiers in Afghanistan, and my years of service transformed me. My character was strengthened, my vistas were widened, and my leadership was tested. I want every young Marylander of every background and from every community to have the opportunity to serve our state. That's why we will offer a service year option for all high school graduates. A year of service can prepare our young people for their careers and also provide our state with future leaders, public servants that we desperately need. The challenges that we will face will require all of us to answer this call to service. To go out and join the ranks of our teachers and our firefighters, our police officers and our civil servants, our nurses and our union members. You've elected me to serve as your governor, but the work will be done together. Now, fair warning, there are going to be skeptics and people who say that we cannot rise above the toxic partisanship that we see too often in today's politics, where people care more about where the idea came from than is it a good idea? Those are the same voices that told me at the beginning of this campaign, you don't understand how politics works. And to them, I said and I say, we must govern on big principles and not on petty differences. That we must govern in a way that addresses the needs of all of our families and not worrying about what a political ideology asks us to believe and asks us to do. That we must govern in a way that we will never forget who it is that we're fighting for and what it is that we're supposed to be fighting for. We know that in this moment we have a chance, we have an opportunity, and we have a unique place and space to do something special. And when people say, well, how do you know that you can do this, or how do you know that you can execute upon this in this time of divisiveness, in this time of political vitriol, my answer is this: it's the only way that I've ever led. You know what question I never once asked my soldiers when I was leading soldiers in Afghanistan? What's your political party? It didn't matter. We had one job, one goal, and one mission. My job was to unify our unit and go out and accomplish that mission, and it's the same job and responsibility that we have right now. If we are divided, we can't win. But if we are united, we can't lose. Now, we know that we stand here on the cusp and in a time of a historic measure. And we're very humbled by that. We know that in this time, that while for both Aruna and myself, that we're walking in a space that and we're able to see higher because of the shoulders that we're standing on. We also know that is not the assignment. That in this time and in this moment, we have a unique opportunity to lead and to love. We have a unique opportunity to build and to grow. But that opportunity can only happen if we're doing it together. Now is the opportunity that we have to march forward and to march together. And let us march on till victory is won. Today is not the victory. Today is the opportunity. It is our opportunity to lead with love. It is our opportunity to create with compassion. It's our opportunity to fight fearlessly for our future. Maryland, our time is right now. Our time is now to build a state that for those who came before us that they fought for, and it's a state that leaves no one behind. This is not a slogan, it is the fulfillment of a hope. Maryland, it's time, let's lead and let's do it together. God bless you all, and thank you so much.
All right, and the first speech delivered by the now Governor Wes Moore there at Lawyers Mall outside of the State House, thus concluding the inauguration of Governor Wes Moore and Lieutenant Governor Aruna Miller. Huge crowd there, as you could see there at Lawyers Mall for this historic occasion. We heard from lots of friends and family of both Aruna Miller and Wes Moore. You saw Oprah Winfrey there taking the podium at one point to share her friendship with Wes Moore, the day that he told her he was going to run for governor, and just a very poignant speech. Now, in Wes Moore's speech, a number of things that he touched on that very important to Marylanders: education, health care, the economy. He says his goals while in office include tackling poverty and crime, addressing environmental problems, cleaning up the Chesapeake Bay, dealing with climate change, and also providing more opportunities for students to succeed. So now it's going to be time for him to shake lots of hands, do the public reception. The People's Ball will be happening tonight at the Baltimore Convention Center. So still a lot more festivities to come there for Governor Wes Moore and his family and his new administration. And we are going to have in-depth coverage of the inauguration tonight at 5, 6, and 7. And of course, you can see the entire ceremony if you missed it. We'll have it posted on our WMAR-2 News YouTube page. So thanks so much for joining us on this special edition of WMAR-2 News. We'll see you tonight at 5 o'clock.
Can deal with a lot more as long as I know that I am helping my daughter. I still can't wrap my brain around it. I mean, yesterday I thought Willow, she was not my friend.
What about now?
And now, she's a daughter that I didn't know. I just can't lose her.
TJ, just so you know, when I saw Dr. Navarro earlier, I told her that I decided I'm ready to have the baby. Whether that means inducing labor or having a C-section, I made up my mind to move forward.
Willow, that is such a relief.
Still worried about potential risks to the baby by having her prematurely.
What changed your mind?
I don't just want to give birth to this baby. I want to raise her. Giving birth so that I can get a bone marrow transplant increases the chance I'll survive. So that's what I want to do.
No, I'm not questioning your decision. I just don't want us to get ahead of ourselves.
I know. We still need to get final confirmation that the woman who is my biological, that Nina is a match. And then we can go ahead with the bone marrow transplant.
News? Nina just arrived for her follow-up test. Keep the faith, okay? I'll handle everything else.
Thanks, TJ.
Thank you.
I still can't believe it. After all the friction with Nina, my life, our whole family may depend on her.
I just can't help thinking that if we would have known sooner that this whole thing would have been...
ABC's General Hospital, brought to you by CarShield. CarShield cars go farther.
It's only a matter of time until your check engine light comes on, or worse yet, your car needs repair. That could mean a big surprise auto repair bill. Those repairs are more expensive than ever. A new engine can be over $5,000. A new transmission over $4,000. That's why it's so important you call CarShield today. CarShield is the #1 auto protection company in the country.
I like CarShield because they were reliable, they were affordable, and they were trustworthy.
Well, I think everybody should have CarShield. Once your manufacturer's warranty is expired, there's just no big bills. If we needed repairs, CarShield was there for us.
Now it's your turn to get the peace of mind that comes with having CarShield, so you can worry less about auto repairs. Call or go online right now to get CarShield for yourself. Friendly, knowledgeable, money-saving representatives are available 24 hours a day. So if your car is 20 years old or newer, just tell us the make and model of your car or truck to get an instant plan quote. In a matter of minutes, you can be covered.
I was elated that I had CarShield. I was more than happy.
It's no fun when you have a car and it's broken and you can't pay for it to get it fixed.
Here's how CarShield works. When your car needs repair, you take it to your favorite mechanic or even your dealer, and CarShield gets them paid directly. That's why CarShield is America's #1 auto protection provider.
CarShield is just the best thing to take away the fear that when something is going to go wrong with your car, because it will, and CarShield is going to be there to back you up.
My experience with CarShield is that they absolutely come through every time I need them.
If my car breaks down, I can count on CarShield to cover it for me. CarShield definitely has my back.
Now it's the time to make the smart choice and protect yourself from sky-high auto repair bills. Call now for a free and instant protection plan quote. It's only a matter of time until repairs are needed, and once your car breaks down, it's too late.
Call 1-800-951-6211 or go to carshield.com. Get covered today.
Get the royal treatment. Join the millions playing Royal Match today. Download now.
We're 30 now, and our lives are trash. Train wrecks.
Wow, we're really running out of board games to drink to.
Everyone be cool and chill, just like me. Let me hear you say
Cool and chill. All right, now let's do